Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials. And you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of hints and tips on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of the time when you're actually in the exam room working through your paper on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store as always. And so now we're going to have a look at this sample paper. So this was never actually set as an exam paper, it's just provided for you as a sample to show you what the new look paper is like, the newly revised paper from 2018 onwards. There are a few little changes and so this gives you a go at that. However, I would just say that all the previous past papers are still a really valuable resource for your revision. So don't discount all the other papers even though the format has now changed. They're still an excellent revision resource. I always suggest that you have a go at these papers on your own first of all. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. You'll learn more thoroughly by making those mistakes. Always work in pencil and then have an eraser to hand and you can just rub out those mistakes and you try again. Always write in pencil. I use a mechanical pencil so it stays nice and sharp because you need to make sure that your answers are clear and neat. Otherwise you might lose marks, so a sharp pencil is really important. You could also do with a ruler to hand as well, just to keep things neat and tidy. So I'm hoping that you've had a go of this and now we'll work through these questions together. So first of all, we're going to have a look at question 1, which is just asking us to add some missing bar lines to these two melodies. So there are two melodies with two different time signatures. Don't just presume that they continue on, so watch out for the change in time signatures and we need to add missing bar lines. They've given us the first bar in each case. So here we're counting in 4 crotchet beats or 4 quarter notes, so we just need to add up to anything that adds up to that amount in notation and then stick a bar line in. Remember, this is also what can be written as common time, so a bit of revision there as well. So here we go, they've given us the first bar. We've got 1 beat here, 1 crotchet beat here or 1 quarter note. These 2 quavers or 8th notes combined together give us a beat, and then here we've got a minim or a half note which gives us 2 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there's our bar line. So now we need to continue in that manner. So we've got 1 beat here, we've got 1 beat here, and then this minim or half note is 2 beats. So that gives us 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where our bar line will be. Use a ruler, keep it neat and tidy. So here we've got 1 beat, there's a 1 crotchet beat or a 1 quarter note. This minim or half note divides into 2 crotchet beats. If it is that you're not sure, just refer back to section A and you can see on the PDFs this little chart shows you the nice breakdown in the note values, so it's a good visual reference there too. Sorry, I'll go back to that. Just carry on with this. 1, 2, 3 and there's another one, 4, so there's our bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4 double bar lines, so we know we've not gone astray. That last bar works out just nice. So now we're counting to 3 crochet beats or 3 quarter notes or whatever adds up to the equivalent of that. So we've got a 1 beat here and then this minim or half note divides into 2 crochet beats, 2 quarter notes, so 1, 2, 3 bar line. So here we've got a minim or a half note, that gives us 1, 2 crochet beats, and then 2 quavers or 2 8th notes added together gives us another. So 1, 2, 3, there's our bar line. So 1 beat there, 1 beat there, 2 quaver beats, 2 eighth notes gives us another one. 1, 2, 3. There's our bar line. It's just a matter of taking it easy and just counting carefully. So we've got 1 beat here. This minim or half note divides into 2 crotchet beats. So 1, 2, 3. There's our bar line. So let's just hope this works out at the end so we've not gone astray. 1, 2, and then there's our crochet beat or quarter note rest. So 1, 2, 3, that's correct. So that's that one completed. So now let's have a look at question 2. So this is looking at clefs, and so if you're not sure on these clefs, it depends which instrument you play, which clef you feel familiar with. If you want to do a bit of revision on this, in your PDFs you can refer back to sections D and E, and also have a look at the relevant chapters in your music theory and practice workbook. So they are the sections that this is going to be revising and testing. So we're asked to add the correct clef to make these notes correct as shown in the first answer. So this is a C in bass clef. If that was written in treble clef, that would be a note A. Remember, the spaces in the bass clef, all cows eat grass. The lines in the bass clef, good boys deserve football always. And so that must be bass clef. So here, we've just worked out this should be good boys deserve football always in the bass clef. So for that to be a G, it needs to be bass clef. If that was written in the treble clef, that would be an E, because the treble clef is every good boy deserves football. So here we go. So this next one is perhaps a little trickier because we're now off the stave. We've gone off that pattern. There are a couple of ways you can work this one out. We can either think, well, the top line in the bass clef would be good boys deserve football always. So that's an A. One above that is a B. So it must be bass clef. Alternatively, you can think, well, middle C is at the top of the bass, the bottom of the treble. It's like the meat in the middle. So if that's middle C, one down is B. So for that to be a B flat, it needs to be bass clef. Let's move on. So now for this to be an E, it obviously can't be bass clef because it's a G in the bass clef. It's an E in the treble clef. Remember, the lines say every good boy deserves football. That's just one way of learning it. Or every green bus drives fast, or whatever little system helps you. And so we've just really already thought this one out because we know it goes every good boy deserves football. So that's an F sharp in the treble clef. If we'd written that in the bass clef, it would be an A, good boys deserve football always. So middle C, now remember it's at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass. It's as if you meet in the middle. Imagine middle C on a piano meets in the middle, bottom of the treble, top of the bass. So for that to be middle C, that's the treble clef. If you find that difficult to remember, you could also work out that, you know, in the treble clef, that's an every good boy, so that's an E. So counting down E, D, C. So just count from a familiar point and work it out from there. So next one. So if this is going to be an F, it can't be treble because we know that's C, and so that would be a D in the treble, just one step up. It's got to be in the bass, and we know that it goes good boys deserve football always, so good is G, so one below G is F, so that's the bass clef there. One below the G. So here, if this was bass clef, it would be good boys deserve, that's a D. It has to be treble clef, every good boy, so we need a treble clef there. And we've already answered this question. We know that that's B in the treble, it's got to be D in the bass, good boys deserve. So we positioned the bass clef on this second line. Remember, it could also be called the F clef. It centres around this F line. And we put the 2 dots there. Bass clef is the usual name for it though. So again, we've just worked out that this is a D in the bass clef. Good boys deserve football always. So that must be A in the bass clef. If you'd written a treble clef, that would be a note F. Every good boy deserves football, so that doesn't answer. And then finally, here we know that in the bass clef it's all cows eat grass, so that wouldn't be correct. And the spaces in the treble clef spell face, F-A-C-E. So for that to be C sharp, that has to be the treble clef. There we go then, so we've made a good start on that paper. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that this is helpful to you. I hope that you're enjoying working through this. It's really great to start to get to grips with this music theory. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.